Rarely has mankind hesitated to eradicate the creatures that stand in the path of his conquest. If we find intelligent species, ritual extraterrestrials, undesirable invaders from another world, the rest must be destroyed. Is it possible that our dark past watch well and pray?
Greetings, ladies, gentlemen, government agents, the Undertaker fan base, and anybody who might be listening. This is Close Encounters of the Podcast Kind. I'm your host, Tasker, and we have looking, pretty swell today, Nick.
Yar, I don't want to go by Nick no more, matey.
Oh, no. Are we starting this already?
Yeah. Ye me lad. I've been listening to a lot of sea shanties lately, and I want to be a pirate.
Really? So are you sure it was sea shanties, or did you finally watch One Piece like I told you to?
First off, I would never, ever watch One Piece. I don't have the time, nor do I want to watch it. But I've been singing sea shanties lately, and there's one that really gets my giblets going. I'm gonna sing a bit of it for you right now.
Like we have a choice.
It's called "Blow the Man Down," and I'm gonna read it for you.
Okay.
Blow the man down, oh, blow the man down. Way, hey, blow the man down to Liverpool way. Hey, blow the man down. She was round in the center.
Okay. Thank you. That was very impressive. Now, to take a minute to examine the lyrical content there, what do you think those mean?
Let's see. Blow the man down. Blow the man down. Bullies. Blow the man down. I think that they're talking about shooting him, shooting him because you're blowing him away. It says blow him away.
Possible. Are you sure there is not some sort of inner desire maybe that came to mind when choosing this song?
Let me see. Let me look at the lyrics again. As I was walking down Paradise Street. Way, hey, blow the man down.
See, this is the type of discussion we can all look forward to with Thanksgiving coming up, probably over Zoom, because we're all going to be locked away.
Yeah, I get it now. He's gay.
Fantastic start, as usual. Wonderful time. Welcome to the show, everybody. As you know, Thanksgiving's coming up. Nick has proven himself to be, I'm sure, the guest of honor at every table he's ever eaten at.
Yeah, that's because I demand a turkey leg. If you don't give me turkey leg, I won't come.
That sounds like something you say on your webcam.
Give me your turkey leg, or I can't come.
An unfortunate circumstance, indeed. But how's it hanging in your new digs? Is it because you used to be in California, so I'm sure it's a lot more snowy, maybe?
Honestly, not as much snow as you'd be hoping for this year, but it will be a white Christmas because I live in a mostly white population. I mean, because there is just going to be a lot of snow come December. Yes, that's what I meant. I didn't mean the other thing.
Right. Well, if we're already on the topic, though, I got to say a quick update. How were you since the Skinwalker episode? Because if any of you listened to it, you would know that by us talking about it, that actually is what put a big target on your back.
Let's put it this way. 2 nights after we finished recording, which I believe was the day the episode came out, I was trying to fall asleep, right? I was trying to fall into a deep slumber, and I was in between being awake and being asleep, right where that sweet spot is for sleep paralysis. But I swear to fucking Satan that I heard a knock from downstairs, and not like something fell over or it sounded like a knock coming from my back sliding glass door. That's kind of what I can compare it to. So I didn't investigate because I was half asleep, and also I don't have time for that shit. I don't want to go down there and see some deformed version of my mother looking in at me from my sliding glass door.
Yeah, probably a good call, I'd imagine.
So to answer your question, I haven't technically been attacked yet, but I'm pretty sure I'm being stalked by a skinwalker.
Yeah, I mean that's usually how it starts because they got to scope you out. But I mean, dude, so you just got every evil thing we've ever talked about is just always coming for you right after, huh?
And I think I know what the problem is. The problem here is that I believe in this stuff, right? And if you believe hard enough, anything comes to fruition. Anything. It's literally the basis of a lot of magical systems. And the fact that I'm making it my reality is the fact that it makes it become a reality. And I need to stop doing that.
This logic explains a lot.
Yeah, like so I've been listening to sea shanties. Yeah, some of them are kind of gay, but my reality is that it's just not gay, and that's cool if I sing it, right? It's cool if I sing it, but if you hear somebody singing in West Hollywood, blow the man down, you can expect there to be some cops involved. You know what I mean?
Well, did you ever watch the movie The Lighthouse?
I actually have seen that. Yes.
Ah, so
Homoerotic.
Very homoerotic and very sea shanty-ish, and one of the best performances I've seen Willem Dafoe pull. Even fucking Edward Cullen, man, Robert Pattinson was amazing.
It was a fantastic movie. Look, Robert Pattinson is a fucking great actor. He was just in the wrong place at the wrong time with Twilight, with a shitty script and shitty direction. You know what I mean? He's a good actor.
Yeah, well, one can also argue conversely that right place, right time, because yeah, it was a shitty gig, but that guy has more money than he ever needs. So then now he can afford to do the really artsy roles and be the actor that he always knew that he was.
That's true. It's a bittersweet situation being in Twilight. I personally would have hated it, but that's because I believe in real vampires.
Which, if you have not heard about our opinions on that, you should check out episode, like, what was it, 4 or 5 in our series?
I don't remember, man. It's almost been a year now. I can hardly remember what I had for breakfast yesterday.
No, same here. That short-term memory loss is kicking in with all the years of whiskey drinking, but that's not what we're here about today. This is part 2 of our double whammy, our unofficial double whammy on Native American folklore creatures in the spirit for Thanksgiving, because we took everything away from them as white people. So we're going to give back by not doing a whole lot.
That's right. I got 2 words for these people. All right. Get good. All right. You wouldn't have had it taken from you if you put up a better fight.
Oh my God. But before we get into and testing the stars, let's read what they have to say first, Nick.
All right. Look, I'll go first because there's clearly some hostility here that I'm going to ignore.
When is there not?
Your playful attitude is apt to be opposed by someone who refuses to see things your way, Cancer. That's weird, isn't it?
Literally seconds ago.
I can't sing sea shanties without you calling me gay.
Never mind.
Walk away from those who aren't committed to helping the situation. It could be that there are people who purposefully try to sabotage your plans. You're too smart to fall into this trap. Prove to others that even though you may be happy, it doesn't mean you're gullible. Damn straight.
Sounds like a pamphlet from like the Church of Scientology.
Honestly, it kind of does.
Mm-hmm.
But because it fits my narrative, I'm going to agree with it.
Well, we'll see. Well, you'll know if the episode just like abruptly cuts off at the 30-minute mark that Nick walked away and decided to heed his horoscope.
That's right. I might quit the podcast, buy a boat, go out on the sea and sing sea shanties, sea shanties by myself.
I mean, hey, if the stars, if they called it, you're just listening, right?
Damn straight. But really quick, let's go over my star ratings. Not looking very good for me today. My sex is a 2 out of 5.
Oh boy, especially even after all that talk of semen, huh?
Yeah, who would have thought? Blow the man down? They're like, I don't think so.
Not with those teeth.
Or lack thereof. My hustle was a 4 out of 5. That's not bad. That's pretty good.
That's very good, yeah.
My vibe is a even 3 out of 5. It's all right. I'm kind of vibing today.
Yeah.
And my success is unfortunately a 2 out of 5.
So maybe the pirate life, maybe another day, huh?
Yeah, I'll try another day. Look, sorry, I don't mean to cut off your horoscoping. Just wanted to point out really quick, the ad that's being displayed on my horoscope page is for Legos. So apparently Google thinks I'm autistic.
What were you talking about, like Minecraft today or something like that?
I was talking about Roadblocks.
Ah, really?
Yeah, that's my favorite game is Roadblocks.
I'm sure there are like 30 people who twitched the minute you said that.
Yeah, I wouldn't be caught dead. All right, what's your horoscope looking like, buddy?
Well, before I read it, I just got our topic today has nothing to do with like nautical themes at all. Yet this seems to be a very seafaring episode, so we might as well just roll with it. So, I'm just picturing the Wendigo, which we're going to be talking about later, just wearing like a pirate hat this whole time and stuff, maybe a peg leg,
singing sea shanties, dude, singing like, leave her, Johnny, leave her. Oh, leave her, Johnny, leave her. For the voyage is long and the winds don't blow, and it's time for us to leave her.
Yeah, right. Save it for the mixtape. But if you think about it, having those terrifying things come at you while singing and just in the exact voice that you did, that arguably make it even scarier.
It would be fucking horrifying. Imagine if you ran into a Wendigo, which you wouldn't, but imagine if you ran into a Wendigo on the ocean.
Fuck. No, that's oof. You could make a movie about that, except you'd probably have to rename the creature. Come up with a whole new monster. Come on, fucking Hollywood, do it.
Do it. Come on. Stop making prequels and sequels and all these fucking remakes. Just do something original. God damn it.
Yep. Wendigo, but on the ocean. That is we just demand 5% of the profit. So, to horoscope. Feel free to stand up for yourself, a cause, or another person today, even if you know it will cause tension among the others around you. A heated argument is likely to ensue, and it wouldn't be surprising if you were the catalyst. Passionate debates are right up your alley, so use this as an opportunity to demonstrate your courage and strength in what you believe.
That's inspiring. Did you have to stand up for anybody today?
Let me think. I don't think so. I had to stand up for myself in the goddamn grocery store today. That's a madhouse.
Yeah. Well, fuck, man. Look, going to the grocery store anytime during the week of Thanksgiving is a rookie mistake. I did my shopping like 2 weeks ago.
Oh, dude, there's like this big like center thing, like full of just like frozen turkeys, and just like people are looking at that shit like it was just like bars of gold. Like, oh, can I take this? Like, it was kind of creepy.
Yeah, it's weird, man. It's a weird American holiday that glorifies us just like stomping on Native Americans, and I'm only doing it because I love my family and I like food. I am a part of the problem, but there will come a day where I stop celebrating Thanksgiving.
That could be a good new tagline for our podcast. Close Encounters of the Podcast Kind. We are part of the problem.
we literally are part of the problem. Do you hear the things that I say on a weekly basis?
Yeah, we'll openly admit to it. Well, yeah, no, we know.
I'll never let the Holocaust live down. There's no way that I'll ever be able to stop talking about that, whether it happened or not.
Oh, wow. But it's good to, honestly, though, that's actually not a bad thing at all. We should keep talking about it. Make sure people don't forget. Because
I'm bringing awareness. I'm doing my part by bringing awareness, by making jokes.
Yep. All part of your master grand scheme, huh?
Yeah. You could almost call it a final solution to forgetting.
Okay. So my star rating is... My star rating is 3 out of 5 on sex. I feel like just talking about the Holocaust, if I had a 5 out of 5 on sex, that would just look really bad. So I'm glad that didn't happen today.
I'm glad too.
Oh yeah. Hustle's a 3 out of 5. My vibe is a 4 out of 5. And my success is a 4 out of 5.
Yeah, buddy.
So feeling pretty good today. And looks like so we'll see how well this episode does, because right now the stars are with us for Sea Shanty Wendigo episode.
Hell yeah, dude. How exciting. Like we said, everybody, this is the second unofficial part of our Thanksgiving twofer. All right. So we're doing Thanksgiving 2 Electric Boogaloo. But today we're talking about Wendigos.
Spooky stuff here.
Yes. Now, this is Wendigos. No, we're not talking about the Marvel fucking guy. All right. There is a character in Marvel called Wendigo. If you were thinking that's what this is, you're on the wrong podcast and you deserve to have some purple nurples. All right. No, Wendigos are Indian folklore, right? So In that
Terribly.
case,
Never call a Native American that ever, by the way. To our listeners, just saying, you will get punched.
only I can do that because technically Tasker's like 118th like Navajo or something, and I know an Indian guy, so I can say Injun.
Oh my god.
Sure. That's what I'm doing. Now, this is perhaps the most well-known Native American folklore creature out there. So, of course, we thought this would be highly appropriate as our last episode before Thanksgiving, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it's going to be fun. It's going to be full of turkey. Not, I wish. But without further delay, I want you to grab those peace pipes one more time for me. All right. I want you to get those moccasins strapped up to your knees and spark it up. Let's dive right into Wendigos.
Are moccasins still popular? I remember when I was in high school, people were buying them left and right.
I don't think they are any. Honestly, I was one of those people. I had a pair of moccasins. Yes, I was again a part of the problem. All right, cultural appropriation. My culture is not your shoes. Whatever. Fuck off. They're comfortable, but I don't think they're very popular now because animal rights activists are ruining everything for us, and they just kind of fell out of style.
Yeah. Also, same with Toms. You remember when everyone was buying those?
I used to wear those, dude. I looked like such a femboy. Dude, I used to just start wearing them. Oh my goodness.
Those things got to smell real bad, but that's a discussion for another day.
Yes. All right, people. Now let's start this off by talking about what exactly a Wendigo is. We've done enough of these episodes where you know what we start with. All right. I should not have these segues in here anymore. Yes, we get off topic, but I'm going to start removing these segues. You guys just need to keep the fuck up. All right.
Well, we're putting our faith in you, our treasured listeners.
Now, the long and short of it is that a Wendigo is a mythological creature and or malevolent spirit. We'll get into that later. From the folklore of the Algonquins. Algonquins.
Sure.
Does that sound? It's basically a group. It's a First Nations Algonquins tribes of the Indians, right? Indians, excuse me.
That's not the right, but whatever. Yeah, I guess, if you're going to commit, just commit, I suppose.
Okay, indigenous peoples. I will say indigenous peoples from now on. God damn. Sorry, I didn't mean to offend you in your Navajo bloodline.
My 1/100th.
Good.
I just felt like a small seething anger in like my pinky finger.
Yeah, your oppression is all in your pinky finger.
Oh my God. All right.
Now, some of these specific tribes include the Ojibwe, the Soltu, the Cree, the Naskapi, and the Innu. You know what? I'd say I did a pretty good job pronouncing those.
Yeah. So the Algonquins, whatever, that's like a blanket term for like all these groups all together.
Yes, it's like a specific First Nations that's made up of these smaller groups. Tribes.
That's right. Yeah, you kind of touched on like the nation kind of thing. Okay, got it.
Now, if you'll recall from our Skinwalker episode last week, we were in the deserts and chaparrals of Utah, Arizona, and New Mexico. But this time, we are going to be taking place in the cold woods and forests of Nova Scotia, Canada, and Wisconsin, United States.
Ooh, so Wisconsin, you ain't safe.
You ain't safe. Look, buddy, I've got a bunch of family out in Wisconsin. All right. So this applies to them, right? This whole episode is going to apply to them up in Wisconsin. All right. Mm-hmm. If they see some of this shit going down, they got to run for the hills, buddy. Let me tell you what.
Well, yeah, it strikes me as because I know in Wisconsin, it gets very dreary and cold because my girlfriend used to live in Wisconsin for like a greater part of her life. And she said that, the winters there last like 9 months or something like that. Makes me think of do you remember there was a movie, but there was also a comic, which is probably a lot better. 30 Days a Night.
Yes.
Something like that, where it's just dark and gloomy. That actually seems primo for a Wendigo attack.
It does. Just like 30 Days a Night utilized the 30 days of darkness in Alaska, which is primo territory for a vampire. Yes, yeah, dude, first, Wendigos love the cold, all right? So if you are living in a place naturally, Nova Scotia and Wisconsin, you're fucked. It's cold there all the time.
I've noticed that cold things are, well, like most things, are a lot more terrifying in the dark. Like the ocean is like basically a death sentence if you go in at night, like from the beach, just as much as being in the snow in the middle of the night. It's like you just, even if it's not just the cold, but you just feel like, like the Yeti's going to get you.
I know, it's creepy, right? It's something's there, especially in a forest. There's something ominous about it.
Yep. Kind of like being at a Kmart parking lot at 3 a.m.
Yeah, that, except for ominous there just means you're going to get stabbed with a junkie needle.
Yeah, very true.
Now, these are two very different terrains for two very different beings. So there are many, many, many different translations and spellings of the word Wendigo, including, but not limited to, Wendigo, 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 Windgo, Windgo, Windago, Windiga, Windagu, Winjigo, Ouijigo, Wintigo, and literally dozens of others.
Sounds like a substitute teacher's like roll call nightmare.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. I will be calling it Wendigo because I am a fucking white man. I am a debatably straight white male who will be just calling it Wendigo. Okay.
We are asserting our rights as Americans to be ignorant.
Exactly. And look, if you haven't gotten that point 48 episodes later, here it is.
Too true.
Now, anyway, from those different tribes we mentioned earlier who believe in the Wendigo, what a Wendigo is to them differs depending on the tribe. Naturally, right? With these types of folklore, there's going to be differences, and it's kind of like a game of telephone, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now, for instance, in the lore of the Innu, Eastern Cree, West Main Swampy Cree, which is what I call my taint.
I can't confirm nor deny this.
And the Naskapi tribes, the Wendigo is often described as being a physical being, like an actual being that you can touch.
Yeah, it ain't no spirit. It ain't no like phasing in and out of it. It's here and it's coming for you.
Exactly. Now, this, in my opinion, is the more terrifying of the two. This version of the Wendigo is massive, right? Many, many, many times larger than a normal man. So picture Big Show or Braun Strowman for all my wrestling fans out there.
Yeah, pretty sizable, I imagine. And that's, well, this is kind of like Yeti territory almost, where is that kind of like how big we're talking?
Yeah, I would, because Yeti, so this is Yeti and Bigfoot. These are all episodes that are coming down the line, but briefly touching on the size of these creatures, they range anywhere from 6 feet. Some people even say up to about 12 feet. In my opinion, that's a little ridiculous. I'd say 6 to 9 feet. So Bigfoot, Yeti, 6 to 9 feet tall. I would say similar size for the physical Wendigos.
Okay, so expect no matter how tall you are, you're going to be shitting your pants when you see these things.
It's going to suck.
Yeah, for at least this specific version of it, right?
Yes, exactly.
Mm.
And now most of the other tribes believe that the Wendigo is actually a spirit in nature without a physical form. It's just like a malevolent spirit.
Interesting. So basically now there's the physical version which can break through the wall, or the spiritual version which can just walk right through it.
Exactly. Yep.
Fuck.
So either way, you're fucked. No matter which one is real, it's not going to be a good time.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So yes, there are differences in some of the details about the Wendigo between the tribes, but there are two things that they all agree on. They are evil beings, and they are hungry for human flesh.
Good stuff. And well, I'm sure we're going to go more into like their physical attributes and like how to hopefully stay safe, right?
Oh, Uncle Nick would never leave you in the dark, man. I got you guys.
Just a modern Van Helsing. Always got the tools for the trade.
Exactly. I'm a triple threat, dude. I tell jokes, I hunt creatures, and I can orgasm without my hands.
That is a pretty big threat. That last one especially. You could just at Thanksgiving this year over Zoom. I'm sure they will be none the wiser.
Nope, until I pull my pants down.
Oh my God, we were talking because I know Nick's trying to learn how to play guitar a lot more because you do know how to play it, but you're trying to improve your skill set. And yeah, so we're talking about with your hands-free orgasm shtick. You could start a webcam business where you start playing a guitar solo, and once you reach the final like squealer note, you just shoot your load like right off with it, no hands, because that's what you can do. We're thinking that could actually blow up.
Yeah, so pretty soon I'm going to have an OnlyFans. I'll be plugging it on this podcast so you guys can come and follow. It's going to be dope.
So, of course, keep a lookout for that. It'll be be good for everybody, hopefully.
Now, what do Wendigos look like? And that's a damn good question, right? Because if you're in the woods and you run into something that looks a little iffy, I want you guys to be able to pick out what it looks like, okay?
Yeah, well, knowing is half the battle. So when you look at something, you want to be like, oh, is this a Yeti? Oh, is this a Cyclops? Or is this just like a deer who got some like Christmas decoration stuck on his head?
Exactly, because you never know which one it's going to be until you read Uncle Nick's script here.
Exactly. So lay it on us.
Now, like we said, there are different variations of these creatures depending on which tribe you're essentially talking to. So naturally, the appearance of the Wendigo differs as well. Some say that the Wendigo looks like a deformed, extremely thin human, and they're so thin, in fact, that their bones are pushing through their skin, looking like they're trying to break through the surface.
Did you ever play Until Dawn?
Yes.
Yeah, this fits that description perfectly, and they did a very terrifying rendition of these guys.
Yeah, exactly. Or like the creepypasta The Rake. If you guys are familiar with The Rake, it looks very similar.
Fuck, I haven't thought about that in forever. That shit was really creepy.
Yeah, that freaked me out when I was younger, for sure.
Speaking of The Rake, I'm gonna try a new thing. You guys can't see it obviously because this is a audio recording, but I'm gonna look up pictures of The Rake and let's see how long it can last before I nope out.
All right,
ready?
I'm gonna count. Tell me when the result page is up.
Okay, I'm typing in The Rake. Should that be sufficient, you think? Or should I type in GIF?
No, The Rake. Yeah, for sure.
Okay. And I'm not looking at the pictures. I'm clicking on images. All right, ready?
Yep.
Okay, 3, 2, 1. Okay, not so bad. I'm kind of used to that one. Oh, don't like that. That one's kind of shitty. You know what? This is not. Okay. No, I'm done. Okay. I'm out.
12 and a half seconds.
That's way better than that's way better than the sleep paralysis one.
Yes. I'm proud of you. You did a good job.
Yeah. Next time I'll have to put GIF because usually those GIFs are fucking terrifying. Hold on, let me just put it to the test really quick just to make sure I'm not full of shit. And it's like, no, fuck that. Okay.
Yeah. One picture and he's done, ladies and gentlemen.
Yep. So when it comes to gift search, I'll say 1 second. So anyways, that's the end of my, what should we call that segment?
Let's call it How Much of a Pussy is Tasker?
And today the result is a lot.
You're a lot of pussy.
All righty.
And now really quick, the reasoning behind the thin appearance of the Wendigo could be their insatiable hunger for human flesh and blood, never being... it's never enough.
And that's like kind of a big thing is they're constantly like starving, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yep. Yeah. And we'll get into how that kind of intertwines with the lore in a little bit.
God, it reminds me of high school.
Dude, yeah. It reminds me of yesterday. Now, others say that the Wendigo looks like a thick, big human, right? And this thickness comes from the fact that they grow exceptionally larger with every human that they eat. So it's like the opposite of the other one.
So be careful when you're at the club. You never know.
You never know, dude. Somebody's just trying to eat you. La, 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 la. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but they get you just by clapping those cheeks. That's their siren call.
Yeah. And finally, another depiction of the Wendigo is probably the one that you were all thinking of at the beginning of this episode if you've ever heard of the Wendigo before. And this is, of course, the strange, skeletal, spirit-like creature with animal ears or antlers. And this is the most famous depiction of this version of the Wendigo, and it's a skinny, anthropomorphic, deer-like creature with sunken red eyes and sharp claws and antlers.
See, what's crazy about that is the first Wendigo thing I think I've ever seen was Until Dawn. So like when I saw that, I'm like, what the fuck is that? But Evidently, that's the more popular one.
It's very popular. It's like literally, guys, Google Wendigo and go to images. Every single picture will be this creature that I described here. This like anthropomorphic deer demon thing.
Interesting. So that's kind of like one of the main characters of that show, Ancient Magus Bride. Like the main dude, he has like a deer skull for a head. So
The what?
The Ancient Magus Bride. You know, it's a it's a very cozy anime that came.
Oh, here we go. Ago. God damn it.
Yeah, it was good. It was just very slow. But yeah, I think technically that's Wendigo-ish, but I'm sure the lore would differ.
Yeah, you know what? I'm glad that you were able to sneak it in. I'm glad you were able to figure out some weird, obscure anime nobody's fucking heard of into an episode about Wendigos. Good.
Is this your official Close Encounters Who Gives a Shit?
Yes, like who gives a shit? All right, look, I have bigger titties to lick. We got to get on with the important information here. You just start bringing up fucking these like Vietnamese cartoons that nobody gives a fuck about.
Well, I thought it was relevant.
I'm sure to some of our fans it will be for some reason. No offense to you guys. I talked to you on Discord. Our Discord has a whole anime channel. So, woo, you know, but save it for the anime channel.
Yeah, I think I had to like lock it. I don't know. I had to do something to make sure you didn't delete it. So,
yeah. Oh my God, that's fucked. I didn't even think about it until now, but now I'm going to try to do it.
Do your best, man.
Now, me personally, I believe in the first one described here, the extra thin, always hungry, deformed human version of the Wendigo. Now, as much as I would like the deer demon looking thing to be real, I just personally believe that the first one is more probable.
I agree. And I think it's a little bit more scary. Did you ever play Dead Space, the video game?
Yes.
Those, the necromorphs, which are literally just like, essentially it's an alien virus that doesn't really necessarily reanimate dead tissue, but lumps it together. And so from several dead bodies, it creates like just a weird amalgamation of dead body parts that attack you. Fucking terrifying. And I think this version of the Wendigo kind of fits that more of like, well, let's say when you think about it, what are the things that naturally we as humans fear are really just like deathly pale things, the sunken eyes, the jarred mouth, a lot of which is just essentially a human corpse. So I've always thought that to be more terrifying.
Yeah, so I think it's definitely scarier than the other ones too. I mean, don't get me wrong. If I ran into this deer demon in the woods, I'd shit bricks. It's like, don't get me wrong.
9 feet tall and stuff and like just staring at you.
But if I was to see a rake-looking Wendigo kind of like creeping around from a tree, that's a little bit more terrifying than a confrontational deer demon.
Let's just say that there's no underwear yellow enough to cover up what will be happening when you see that.
Yes, always wear your brown pants when you go into
the important life skills.
So, why are Wendigos so damn scary? Why would you not want to run into one of them if you're in the forests of God forbid, Nova Scotia or Wisconsin, right? First off, what are you doing there? Why would you willingly go to Canada or Wisconsin?
Oh no, maybe a plane crash.
Yeah, exactly. In that case, you'll definitely become a Wendigo. We'll get into that. But let's clear the air on the subject and give you reasons why you should be scared, including which abilities they possess as supernatural beings. Now, the why, right? The why you should be scared is actually pretty quite simple. The Wendigo has a desire to kill and eat other humans. It's as simple as that. Now, they are often called cannibals, but it's actually kind of difficult to tell if this is the truth or not. Now, what I mean by this is, on one hand, if the Wendigo is in fact a human who is just larger than life and psychotic, like some tribes believe, then yeah, I guess technically that would make them cannibals because they are eating other humans. But on the other hand, if the Wendigo is in fact a supernatural being that's more spirit-like in nature, like some of the other tribes believe, then I don't think it's appropriate to call them cannibals because, I don't know, personally, I don't think that if you're a spirit and you eat humans, I don't think that's cannibalism.
Well, yeah.
Changed my mind.
Well, if you've transformed, and you're no longer of the human race anymore, well, then that kind of excuses the behavior. It doesn't excuse it. I mean, obviously, there's a whole other things you're going to be accused of, but yeah, no, I'm with you on the not calling them cannibal thing, because it's like, I think there's a difference between like somebody forced to eat people who just like lost their goddamn mind versus a supernatural Wendigo that basically, I guess the best we could differentiate it is a Wendigo would not survive in its conditions if it were not a Wendigo. Therefore, I would say it's a different species.
Yeah, exactly. That's a really good way to put it. That's a great way to put it. So are they cannibals? Kind of depends on what kind you run into, right? If it's like some crazy Native American dude, or really anybody, we'll get into what happens. But if it's really anybody you run into that's looking to eat you, it's a cannibal, right? If they look human, if they act kind of human, they're probably human. If not, you're dealing with something bigger and you got a big fucking problem on your hands.
Well, yeah. And most of the time when people are cannibals, that doesn't automatically mean they're like psychosis laden raving lunatics. Like some of them are like, obviously there's something wrong with them or they were forced into that position. But like, I just think Wendigo is like more beast than man. And I think it's a lot easier to differentiate it.
You'll know if you're looking in the eyes of a human that's stark raving mad, or if you're looking in the eyes of a folklorish creature who's going to tear you to pieces. You'll know the difference when the moment comes. Trust me.
Yeah, trust your gut. Either way, you should fight back.
Exactly. And now look, the point here is that if you ever find yourself face to face with a Wendigo, run like hell because you will end up its dinner. Regardless of if it's human or not, you'll be next on the fucking menu.
Yep, you'll be served with the gravy and the stuffing, which is extra humiliating.
Yeah, because the stuffing might come after you're dead too. He might stuff you.
Gross.
Yeah, I don't even know if they have wieners.
Thank you for that.
You're welcome. Oh, and speaking of wieners, Wendigos have exceptional stamina. Sexually. No, I mean just in general. Like they have very good stamina.
I just got to ask, do Wendigos so they're just like really, really skinny, but it doesn't really fall into like, how close does this fall into zombie territory?
It doesn't fall into zombie territory because technically they were not dead at one point. They've transformed.
Okay. So they're still alive. They're still living creatures. So, okay. That makes sense.
Yeah. So, and this stamina is very useful when stalking human prey, as you can imagine. They have to be able to run fast and for long periods of time in order to catch their prey, aka our dumbasses that get lost in the woods.
Yep. Some people have it coming. Not everybody though.
No, not everybody, but look, if you're in Nova Scotia, or if you're in Wisconsin and you think it's a really good idea to go into the woods by yourself near an Indian reservation, man, I don't know, man. Like, I wouldn't do it. Not only do you have to worry about the, with the arrows and shit, but you also have to worry about a Wendigo.
I don't. Okay. Sometimes I've just gotten to the point where it's not even worth recovering anymore.
We can't. There's no way to recover from that. All I can do is just keep talking about all I can do is keep following the outline.
And watch our iTunes rating just plummet.
Yeah. Hey, you know what? There are some people out there that enjoy our brand of humor. All right. And yeah, it's a little racy.
One could actually argue we're actually not as racy as some other forms out there.
That damn straight. And at least we're joking as far as you know.
Yeah. Unless next week we change our name to Proud Boys of the podcast kind, then okay, then we might be a little bit more serious, but I don't foresee that happening.
Good. Me neither. Not yet, at least.
Oh, geez.
Now, as you can imagine, Wendigos are exceptionally strong. Now, this comes in handy when they catch up to their prey, as it allows them to overpower their intended victim and kill them without much fuss.
Convenient for them.
For them, it's very convenient, yes.
Yeah, but if I got caught by one of these, I just want to get it over with at this point. Like, if you're going to kill me, like, I'm glad they don't take their time.
If I ever got caught by a supernatural being who understood English, I would probably try and get my way out of it by either telling a joke or creeping him out, like being really pervy, you know?
Dude, hit him with your hands-free orgasm. Blind him for a sec because that shit's not good for your eyes, and make a clean getaway.
That's actually that's not a bad point. That's not really not a bad point at all. I could definitely, instead of pocket sand, it's pocket jizz and just Yahtzee.
So you were just finding more and more. You see, when Nick said that was part of his triple threat, you all laughed.
Yeah, but now it is a threat.
Yeah. Oh, good for you. I'm glad you're prepared.
Thank you. Now, as a side note, I would imagine that this super strength also comes with the ability to be more durable than the average human. Now, this is my speculation, and I do want to also say this is not a fanfic, right? And this is not a superhero breakdown on a YouTube channel talking about what's your favorite Marvel fucking character. No. So let's not speculate too much. I'm just throwing it out there as a possible ability.
Possible ability, huh?
Yes, a possible ability. Possible ability.
Sounds like something that might get served on Thanksgiving.
The Wendigos' main senses are also enhanced, specifically their sense of sight, smell, and hearing. And this is very useful, as you could imagine, when hunting for helpless humans in the forests of Canada or Wisconsin. My Mr. Wendigo, what big eyes you have! All the better to see you with, my dear. My Mr. Wendigo, what a big nose you have. Are you Jewish? All the better to sniff you with, my dear. Oh, well, you have such big ears. What are you, Ben Stiller? All the better to hear you with, my dear. Oh, look at that big wiener you have. All the better to stuff you with, my dear.
If you remember, you need to picture that. If you didn't do it before, rewind and picture that with the big pirate hat on him.
Yeah, and then get stuffed by that.
Yeah. To some people, that's a fantasy of a lifetime.
So yes, their senses are enhanced. They're like the wolf and Little Red Riding Hood, man. They're just fucking ready to roll. You know what I mean? Ready to eat some little girl, which is fine.
Fantastic rendition, by the way. You should do audiobooks.
Thank you.
Good God.
Now, believe it or not, some tales tell of Wendigos who have the ability to walk on fresh snow without it sinking, and they can even walk across water without sinking as well. It's like the engine version of Jesus.
Sure. That is a very intense advantage, though. Like, because, yeah, if any of y'all have never been in snow before, that shit is very impeding unless you have the right gear.
So while you're running through the fresh snow, sinking with every step, trying to get away from this thing, it's literally strolling behind you, catching up real quick.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah. And if they have a trace of humanity, they might even like laugh at you and they'll be like walking in circles and stuff. And then they'll give you like a head start and shit. Cause like, even if you did have like snow gear and stuff like that, still like if you're in like a couple feet of snow, like good luck.
Exactly. So good luck with that shit. Now, as Wendigos eat more human flesh, they can live on forever, technically making them immortal. Now, you can still kill them, but if they have a steady stream of human flesh to eat, they can't die from natural causes.
Interesting. So they can starve to death but they also they're mortal. So a good old buckshot to the head might do it, right?
Yes. We'll get into how to kill them. It's similar to the Skinwalker, but we'll get into it. We'll get into how to kill the old Wendigo here.
Ooh, good. Yeah. Obviously, I'm rushing to that part because I don't want that shit.
I know, but don't worry, man. You live on the other side of the fucking world. You're okay.
Yeah, but I might have to visit Wisconsin.
Oh yeah. Good luck. Oh
yeah.
Shit. I don't visit my family out there for this exact reason. So
yeah. Oh, lucky you. Well, hopefully this episode is just as educational for all you listeners as it is for me, because I want to live to keep making these episodes.
Take notes.
Yep, I'm already doing it.
And finally, we come to an ability that will hopefully sound familiar if you listen to our last episode on Skinwalkers. Now, in some legends, Wendigos are able to mimic voices to lure prey to them. But again, this type of voice mimicry is not perfect, and something will sound off.
Creepy. So it can't get it down to a T, but it'll be like reminiscent.
It will be close enough to where if you are like 2 spoons shy of a fucking silverware drawer, you know what I mean? Like if you have like 1 brain cell left, it is just good enough to trick you into falling for it.
I could see if you're in a state of panic, like being just when you're just trying to just grasp at anything. Because as tough as we all believe that we are, Adrenaline's a hell of a drug, man.
Exactly. But see, what you do with adrenaline is you use it to your advantage and fight the good fight, and don't run away. Don't freak out. Use your adrenaline as fuel and fight the beast. You know, I would jump out the window and I would tell him, hey, man, that's not cool, buddy.
You show them, huh? The fight or flight really kicking in.
Yeah, I'd be like, hey, stop it.
You better get out of here right now, or I swear to diddly dee.
Look, pal, I'm just hanging out at my house in Wisconsin, all right? You come over here knocking on my door saying that you're my grandma. Well, I got news for you, buddy. My grandma's been dead for about 30 years or so, eh?
Yeah, I'll give you the whipping of a lifetime for making me get off of my keister, put down my hot cocoa, and having to go deal with this.
You made my beer fall out of its beer cozy, buddy. All right.
Actually, that's probably more accurate than hot cocoa.
Fucking Wisconsin's such a ridiculous state.
Oh man. I mean, they're probably sick of the Wendigos, man. They're probably just pissed off. That's why they're drinking beer all day, every day, and have fish fries.
And they have like cheese curds and shit. They're just like, oh, please kill me slowly so I don't have to listen to this shit anymore. Hey, Sharon, he's at it again. He's knocking on the fucking back door. What do we do? Now, you may be thinking to yourself, Tasker, this all sounds well and good and a little bit spooky.
A little bit.
How does one become a Wendigo in the first place? Like, what is the origin of this mysterious and horrific creature?
That's what we've been waiting for.
Well, let's get into this shit. All right. Let's get into the lore that is the origins of this Native American bullshit. All right.
That's one way to put it. But yeah, we'll see what happens, because for some people, this might be a good last ditch effort measure to get revenge on those who have wronged you.
Yes. If you are desperate enough to do what I'm about to tell you to become a Wendigo, more power to you. But leave me out of the note, dude. I didn't fucking tell you to do anything. I didn't tell you how to do anything. Erase your hard drive so they know you didn't listen to this show. All right.
Yeah, we don't want it, because once again, that iTunes rating, it's just going to plummet.
It's going to plummet. It's like, hey, yeah, this is the worst podcast. These guys told us how to kill people. It's like, that's not what I'm trying to do. It's just like, you take it with the grain of salt. And if you run with it, then fucking lean into it, man.
1 star. Turn my son into a Wendigo. Ruin my entire life. The brainwashing episode was pretty good, though.
Yeah. Now, among the tribes mentioned earlier in the episode, a fairly general consensus is that the Wendigo are previously human. They were once just like you and I, perhaps with just a little bit more of an appreciation for like buffalo and shit, right? Because they're probably Indian. It's said that a man or woman who loses themselves in greed will become a Wendigo when they die. And it's also, so don't be greedy. All right. Don't you sit there and be greedy.
I think I say, with the day I became an artist, I saved myself from that fate.
You know what? Good point. Good point, man.
Yeah. We'll see what the spirits say. But anyways.
It's also said that a human who either isolates themselves too much from society or someone who has eaten human flesh can become a Wendigo. And now, as an important side note here, it doesn't matter if the person took part in cannibalism for survival purposes, they can still become a Wendigo. It doesn't matter. As long as you eat that sweet pork-like meat, you're fucked.
Yeah, that's kind of a tragedy, though. That's a sad, where it's like you just did what you had to survive, and then you're just... Well, they do say, though, if you do partake in cannibalism, there's that part of your humanity dies.
Look, I know we've talked about cannibalism on the show a little bit before. I've been watching a lot of 70s and early 80s exploitation horror films, which include the Italian cannibal subgenre of exploitation films. Cannibal Holocaust, Cannibal Ferox, right? Watching all this stuff. Is it intriguing to me? Yes. Will I do it? Probably not, unless there's an opportunity to do so without harming anyone, right?
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
just going to come out and say it.
Well, yeah, we already had the foot taco conversation of when that guy had his foot severed and he wanted to keep it and cook it. And any of his friends like, hey, if you ever want to try human meat, here's the one and only way you can do it with consent. And I said no, and you said yeah, because you'd never be able to try it ever again.
Exactly. See, I'm a human. I'm a good person, guys. Come on. I'm a good person, all right? I would never harm anyone to eat them, right? Even though it's all about the chase, you know, and I have like a basement now. I wouldn't do that. That's weird, right? But
it's not like you have everything you need for it or anything.
But if the opportunity presented itself to me, with the caveat that I might become a Wendigo, I might take the chance on that.
Well, and this is not something I thought of before, but for my last anniversary, we got a imported A5 Wagyu Japanese beef, which is stupidly expensive, but it was a good idea because we got the experience of it because it's supposed to be the best meat on the planet, and it was fucking delicious. But there's no goddamn way I'm paying as much as I did to get it again because I paid for the experience. I did it, and I'm like, okay, I'm done. So one could argue maybe cannibalism. Well, we'll say foot taco level cannibalism, where nobody got hurt, where it was all completely. One could argue it's very easily a one and done thing if you're not like profusely vomiting by knowing you just ingested human flesh. But I still think I wouldn't do it.
That's fine. And look, everybody's got their thing. You know what I mean? I'm comfortable enough in my skin to tell you guys that I would try it. Why don't you hop on Discord? Let me know if you'd try it. And if there's enough people, maybe we'll make a website, right? Well, we'll make a website where we can just like get together and talk about it. And hey, maybe some people will join the website, right? And they'll be like, hey, I want to be eaten. And I'm like, dude, I mean, like he said it was cool, So
haven't there been murders that came from that exact process?
Yes, but we wouldn't commit any murders.
That's what they said too when they made the website.
Let's move on. All right.
Yeah. We already have our what is it? Our one DC listener just wiretapped right in. It's like, fuck, these guys are at it again.
Yeah, dude. And our one Chinese listener is like, oh, hello, yeah.
Figure out how to weaponize us on the airwaves.
Now, there are differing opinions on what makes someone a Wendigo. For example, some tribes believe that the Wendigo is essentially just a malevolent spirit with bad intentions and a hunger for human flesh that latches onto and basically possesses humans who take part in the above activities, right? The self-isolation and or cannibalism.
I didn't even make this comparison. Dude, with fucking Corona, there must be an influx of Wendigo cases.
Explain.
Self-isolation. I mean, you said cannibalism doesn't necessarily have to be the cause. So what if there's a bunch of greedy people who are just by themselves and, that might lead to it. So if you're in Wisconsin, that might lead me to believe that probably, well, I was going to say this is probably a good case to say that they probably don't exist, but we'd probably be hearing about a lot. Well, I don't know. Let me see. Wisconsin murders 2020. Milwaukee. So this is just Milwaukee. Oh, fuck, dude.
What?
Okay. Literally in bold font on the front page. There have been 172 homicides in 2020. This is 82 more than last year at this exact date.
I knew it.
God damn it.
I knew it.
I thought for sure it would, but yeah. Homicides have almost doubled in Wisconsin. Fuck. Be careful if you live there.
Yes, be careful. Stay fucking frosty. Don't be greedy. Don't self-isolate. And for God's sake, don't eat any human flesh for a while, okay?
Who's to say some of them hadn't partaken in it already, one of them already snapped and put the shotgun to all of his family members. And who's to say he took a bite or two,
First off, that was dark. But second of all, I don't know what our listeners are doing. So they could have done something similar. There is something called auto cannibalism. Don't take part in that either. All right. It's not worth it, guys. I did something. Never mind. I'm not going to get into it. Don't do auto cannibalism. That's where you eat yourself. It's not cool, man.
Yeah. So that also, it still counts. And also to keep in mind, like we said earlier, being a Wendigo, not what it's cracked up to be. One, you don't really think properly. Two, you're constantly hungry. And if you say, I'm hungry all the time anyways, You don't know what it is. You know what it's like to be hungry. You don't know what it's like to be starving every minute of your life.
Starving 24/7, and the only way to briefly satiate that hunger is to eat another human being.
Emphasis on the briefly.
Briefly.
So yeah, don't do it. Not worth it. Save your fellow man. Don't attack them.
Don't attack them. Come on, unless they started it. Yeah, that's all you.
Then we're getting to the whole court of law thing, which that's
I'm a paralegal technically.
What, did you get your certification from Reddit?
Nah, Chuck E. Cheese.
Even better. Which I did hear they're starting to close down. There's all these articles saying that Five Nights at Freddy's is about to become real.
Five Nights at Freddy's is dumb.
But the guy who made it is making hella stacks.
Yep, off of little retarded kids. Good for him. Good for him.
Never mind. I was going to say one could argue that that's pretty similar with any major franchise, but that's assuming.
Yeah, like Rick and Morty and anime and all kinds of shit. Yep.
A point of conjecture, but we are not marketing experts in this field.
No. All right, everybody, look, it's time for the segment that Tasker has been chomping at the bit to get to. All right, and this is the most important segment of the episode, of any of these episodes we do. How can you protect yourself from this being, and how can you kill one, right? That's what we all want to know.
Yep, it's important. I might need it in the next year or two.
Exactly, and some of you out there, if you're in Wisconsin, you're going to need it tonight.
Yeah, the cases are doubled, y'all. There's a Wendigo epidemic right in your backyard.
A real epidemic. This is a real pandemic happening right now.
If it was a pandemic, it would be a global.
Whatever, man. I'm not a scientist. All right? I'm not what do I look like? I'm from the CDC. Like I should know this fucking stuff.
I suppose.
Now, first up, let's talk about conventional means of self-defense and weaponry. So yes, like we briefly mentioned earlier, you can kill a Wendigo with weapons like guns, knives, clubs, swords, etc. Pretty much anything you can get your hands on. But you have to remember a couple things. And first off, they're extremely strong and resilient. So if you plan to use a melee weapon of sorts, right, like a knife or a sword, or if you plan to go 1v1 with him in hand-to-hand combat, good fucking luck. All right?
Oh, yeah, you're saying they got more stamina than us. They're way bigger than us. They can move in snow. So you're probably, if you want to increase your odds, probably not do fisticuffs, huh?
Don't do fist. Look, as big a balls as you think you have, no matter how big your mustache is, you can't win. All right? I can't even win hand-to-hand with a Wendigo when I fought Hitler.
A very overlooked part of history.
And second, if you plan to use a gun, you have a better chance, but remember, their stamina and agility are a hard 9 out of 10. So aiming at them might prove to be a bit of a challenge.
So they're not just going to sit there and take it. They could strafe and do all that garbage, huh?
Dude, they'll zigzag, just like in Call of Duty, right? They'll fucking strafe and zigzag and fucking prone up and down. And then by the time you've got off 6 rounds and missed all 6 of them, they're going to be standing over you, about to stuff you and eat you.
And with that stamina, it ain't going to be quick.
No, it's unfortunately, they do last a while.
Point of conjecture. Just, if you're feeling sick to the stomach, just picture the pirate hat again.
Yeah, it'll make it a lot. Then it's like role playing, then it's not like as scary. It's like you're being ravished by a sexy pirate,
Make a day out of it. Just pretend he has scurvy and it'll be fun.
Yeah. That's terrible. Sing some sea shanties.
So if you're in Wisconsin and you hear some very desperate sounding sea shanties, either get the fuck out of there or load up the 12 gauge.
Exactly. Now, there is a surefire way to kill a Wendigo, but getting into the right position could prove to be difficult. Now, what you have to do is trap them somehow. Trap them in a way that they won't be able to move and fight back. And now this is going to take some fucking creativity. Okay, we're not all Rambo. We're not all of us can go out there and just set up traps or Predator. We can't just set it up and just start, knocking off Wendigos in the woods, right?
So I gotta say then, our Wendigos, they have a degree of survival intelligence, but they're not like, like Predator, right?
Right. They're not intelligent enough to be like an alien species that is coming to hunt you. They're hunting you out of pure instinct and hunger, much like an animal. But they're just a lot scarier than like a lion, you know?
I see. So imagine like, you just parked and there's no line at um
Boston Market.
but I fucking hate Boston Market, dude.
What the hell?
I would rather starve in my car than eat at Boston Market.
Jesus, you fucking communist.
Yeah, whatever, man. So you roll up to In-N-Out and there's no line and this is your first meal of the day. It's 4 p.m. You haven't eaten a scrap. And when you see there's no line, that primal where you get out of your car and you just start running in there, that's kind of the mindset that Wendigos are in like 24/7, right?
Exactly. They're just looking for the next piece of meat, right? And I'm not talking about an OnlyFans dude. They're looking for the next piece of meat. And for all of our people, all of our listeners in like the middle Americas and the East Coast, imagine us comparing that to like Culver's or Five Guys. All right. It's the same hunger when you pull up to those places and you're like, holy shit, there's no line. I need this in my stomach now.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So, there's always a goddamn line.
Yes. And now, okay, talking about creativity, right? I'm not the most creative person in the world. I'll admit it. I'm not very creative. I steal a lot of things. But personally, I would prevent them from moving long enough for me to hit them with a tranquilizer or something like that, right? So perhaps I would use a bear trap and shoot them with the trank as soon as they're caught. Because you want to do it quick because you don't want to give them time to break out of the trap.
Right. And I was going to say probably something like, putting like, have people with like cats, they have like the plastic wrap, they cover their door and the cat runs into it. It's like, what the fuck? Wendigos, I feel like would probably just be able to walk right through. But if you can get something enough to stun them even for a second or just catch them off guard, if you're quick enough, that could be the difference between life and death.
Yep. You just need to. Okay, here's the end game here. As soon as they're caught and you get close enough to do some damage without taking any damage yourself, walk up to them with the sharpest knife you can get your hands on and start digging into its chest cavity with the main objective of obtaining its heart. That's what you got to do.
Oh, really? No.
It has a very icy cold heart. You'll know when you feel it. It's not like its other organs. Its heart is like ice cold.
Interesting. So it does have body heat, but the heart is freezing.
Exactly.
Crazy.
And now when do you see? Yeah, you see why it's cold.
I was gonna say actually. If you have any sort of thermal lens, that could really help in A, identifying, and B, being able to keep track of it if it's following you because you just watch for the cold heart.
Yep. And you know what? I would venture to say a lot of hunters in Wisconsin have some kind of thermal vision. Look, I don't know, man. I don't hunt. It's some kind of, like in the movies, right? Where they have like Predator.
Yeah, I am sure if anybody would have it, it would be Wisconsinites.
Yeah, you damn backwards hillbillies. And when you have the Wendigo's heart in hand, burn it until it's nothing but ash, and this will permanently kill the creature.
Oh, that's right, because these things won't die unless they starve to death, or there's just if you blew its head off, does that kill it? Or do you have to make sure the heart's gone?
You could blow the head off. It's hard though. So remember, they're durable, right? They can take a lot of hits. A surefire way is to get the heart by trapping them, and then that's probably the easiest way if you can come up with a good trap.
I see. So it also too, it's like, yeah, you could blow its head off, but what if it's the whole chicken thing where its head gets taken off, but it's still got like a good 10 minutes of life left?
Yeah, you never know. It might come after you still with no head. I mean, it wouldn't be able to eat you at that point, but it'll tear you apart.
Yep. So still dead. So the heart. So that's the most guaranteed, surefire, you're 100% safe way.
Yes. And there is another final way to be rid of a Wendigo, and that is to contact your local First Nations shaman, and they can do a ceremony which will destroy the creature for you. But honestly, I don't know what's more difficult, getting a Native American to talk to you about this subject and to also get them to help you with it, or just trapping it and killing it yourself. I honestly couldn't tell you which one's easier.
Well, especially if you're like, no offense, but a Wisconsinite cheesehead who drinks beer all day. I'm pretty sure just existing is an abomination to Native Americans. So like,
Yeah, just picture like a Native American shaman doing his thing, right? He's in a trance. He's like talking to the spirit world. All of a sudden, fucking Bill walks up and he's like, hey, they told me I could talk to you about something there. What's your name again? Running in Reeds? That's a weird name. Is that on your birth certificate? Anyway, so I got this problem, right? So like every night around midnight, my wife and I were in bed watching the honeymooners, right? And all of a sudden, we hear this knock on our backsliding door. I thought, oh shit, it's that deer again looking for cheese. Oh, but we don't have a deer and we don't have cheese anymore. So I'm like, I snuck down the stairs, right? I grabbed a beer out of the fridge just in case, right? And I started sipping on my beer. I look out the window, and wouldn't you know it, some skinny fella hanging out right there next to my window. And he's like, come here, right? He's got his little finger and he's like, come on, come over here real quick, buddy. I'm like, I don't think so. I don't think that's a good idea. I looked on the internet. These people on a website called Reddit or something like that, they said it might be a Wendigo. And I was hoping maybe, just maybe, you could help me out.
He like brings his son with them, and they immediately recognize the son who was there a week previously. Hey man, can you tell me what skinwalkers are, bro? Like,
hey man. So like, just a whole family of ignorance.
I'm sure they love that.
So, like I said, it's probably going to be difficult to get them to help you, but honestly, you miss all the shots you don't take. So give it a shot before you die.
You might as well, honestly. Like, yeah, like I said, you could get lucky. You could meet a nice guy who's just like, fuck it. Like this goddamn Yankee over here is, pulling my chain. He doesn't deserve it. But you know what? Violence doesn't always beget violence. Blah, blah, blah.
I will help you and your family if you get me more Steel Reserve from the grocery store.
Or, you could do him a huge favor. Maybe not necessarily the Steel Reserve, but who knows? In fact, that's a cheap price to get a Wendigo taken care of.
Hell yeah, dude. Just a 6-pack of Steel Reserve is cheaper than fuck.
Dude, do you remember, or were you around when I had my Steel Reserve phase?
I was around for that, yes.
That was bad. It's not good beer. It gets you drunk real quick, but it's not good beer.
It's horrible. It's horrible beer.
I had to stop drinking it because it gave me stomach aches.
That's like me and Foster's.
I have fond memories of Foster's.
Good times getting drunk in a jacuzzi, and we could have died.
We on multiple occasions. Didn't help that we were like, that was back when we had our brass ball era where we would just like beat the shit out of each other in like in a friend way. Like, yeah, we weren't like actually like fighting.
Yeah. Mommy and daddy never really fight. Okay, guys, we're just pretending.
I think we tried to do it again a couple years ago. I like jam my finger. I'm like, it's my drawing hand, and I like made a whole bitch fit about it.
We're getting old, man. So
the times change, dude. We can't just tombstone each other left and right.
I'll give you the people's elbow next time you say some shit like that.
Fair enough.
Now, for the next portion of this episode, let's briefly touch on the symbolism of the legend of the Wendigo. Now, assuming that Wendigos do not exist, which is an absolutely fucking ridiculous notion, there could be some meaning behind the Wendigo as a legend itself.
And remember, we did declare that homicides are doubled in Wisconsin, so my only point has already kind of been debuffed or debunked, so be careful.
Yes, be very careful. The skeptic is saying that it's been debunked, that the debunking has been debunked.
Just saying, man. Like I said before in the last episode, this is Native American territory. Like, Native American burial grounds tend to be the most haunted places on the planet. So, you could choose not to believe in it, but I would just be prepared just in case.
Exactly. Now, perhaps the legend of the Wendigo came about as a reminder to be active in your community and family. And this can be seen in the folklore stating those who are too self-isolated can become a Wendigo.
So it was an anti-weeb measure.
Yes, stop watching your Japanese cartoons and come eat dinner with the family like the rest of us. Why do you eat ramen upstairs every night? Why can't you just have your home-cooked meal with your family?
So watching anime turns you into a cannibal.
Yeah, so congratulations, you fucking weeaboos.
My younger brother, he shares your hatred of anime. And then he watched Akira, which if you haven't seen that, it actually is a really just fantastically made movie. It was funny. He watched it and liked it. I'm like, so you like anime now? He's like, it's not anime. It's Japanese animation. There's a difference.
You know what? Your brother is a fine man. Actually, I take that back. I would say your brother is a fine man, but then I forgot he's going to work for NASA and stuff, so I have to kind of veto that. Look, Nick, if you're listening, you're a smart dude. You're musically talented. You know, you do all kinds of stuff. Why'd you go down the astrophysics road? Why I don't get it, man. Like why you working for the Germans now? Like I don't fucking quite understand. So
to keep on faking lunar landings and spreading lies.
I fucking knew it, man. I used to drink with that guy too. Not anymore.
Yep. What a shame and a sham.
Now, another reason for the creation of the Wendigo is fear of starvation. So in those olden days, right, you have to remember that you couldn't just walk to your local grocery store or a McDonald's or like an R&R barbecue or something and get some food when you're hungry. Now, for a lot of people, especially in colder climates where your body works extra hard to survive, sometimes you wouldn't know when your next fucking meal was coming, man.
That's true. That's something it's always nice to remind yourself about that of like, we live fortunately in a place in the world where if we're hungry, we can just go get food. Didn't used to be that way.
Exactly. And unfortunately, that was powerful. You might have to keep that in.
Yeah. That's some like supersonic levels.
I almost threw up. Now, unfortunately, cannibalism had to be resorted to in order to survive in some cases. And sure, we look down upon cannibalism today, but it was even taboo back then. So perhaps the Wendigo was created to deter people from eating other people, even in times of starvation.
Well, yeah, that's like, back in like ancient Greece and stuff. Like, yeah, it's fucked up to like, sexually desire people under the age of 10. But like back then it was just taboo is basically it. Like, I don't know. Were there laws against it back then or it was pretty much a free for all, right?
Look, I don't want to disparage ancient Greece or anything. Actually, I would love to. I'm going to do it right now.
Yeah.
They were pedophiles, right? They were the biggest fucking pedophiles. If you think the pedophile ring going on in the government right now is big, picture ancient Greece, right? One of the stepping stones of modern civilization. And picture all of your favorite philosophers and all of your favorite leaders from these ancient times. And then I want you to picture them fucking boy slaves. And that's exactly what they were doing. All right. So there's no excuse for that.
Historically, it's always been a thing, I guess.
So that's not taboo. That's just illegal now. That's just It's both taboo and illegal now. But cannibalism has been a taboo for a long time. There's only certain groups of people in this world who have ever regularly done cannibalism.
Mm-hmm. And the reason why, and to bring that whole thing full circle of ancient Greece, because that was a very bizarre tangent, is the whole thing of that's what they had to do back then. Is when the law didn't really, or sometimes there weren't laws. The way you deter people is you come up with stories. You come up with sometimes don't do it because it's bad. It doesn't always work. How about don't do it, otherwise you'll turn into a skinny flesh craving demon monster.
Exactly, and they were smart enough to know that this could be a legend to deter people from doing it. Now, it's a little, it's kind of weird though, because you're telling people to not survive, right? If you're in a survival situation where there's a chance for you to survive by eating somebody else, like in the Donner Party, or like in that, I forgot what it was, but that one plane crash that happened where the soccer team crashed in like the Andes or something, and they resorted to cannibalism. In those situations, I'm not telling you to do it, but do what you need to do to survive. All right. Like, honestly, this is genuine, out of character Nick advice to you. Do what you need to do to survive and see your family again. All right. But you're into a fucking Wendigo, so you got to make the choice.
That's true. At the end of the day, it's like, you know what? You got to live with your decisions. And if that's the price of living and you feel it's worth taking it, you do what you got to do.
Yes, exactly. So, now, the last section of our episode here, I want to talk about something in a modern day aspect that is derived from the Wendigo. let's bring a little bit of a modern take on it, man.
Oh, here we go. Some relevancy.
Now, we are, of course, talking about the psychological condition known as Wendigo psychosis.
Which I briefly glossed over. Apparently, it's sort of frowned upon to use this term.
It is. I don't think it's technically a medical diagnosis, but it is observed by the American Psychological Association.
Now, what does it mean? Because that part I did not read.
Now, it is defined by the American Psychological Association as a, quote, a severe culture-bound, and that's important, culture-bound syndrome occurring among Northern Algonquin. I still don't know how to say that. Luckily, they don't listen to podcasts. Otherwise, it'd be offending a lot of them.
Some of them might, but well, I guess we'll see in the comments.
Yeah. Look, I love you guys. All right. I love it. The feathers and everything.
Oh my God.
Algonquin Indians living in Canada and the northeastern United States. The syndrome is characterized by delusions of becoming possessed by a flesh-eating monster, aka the Wendigo, and is manifested in symptoms including depression, violence, a compulsive desire for human flesh, and sometimes actual cannibalism, unquote.
See, I think there's a lot of other things that could be going on. And I think I could see why they're kind of like, about the one. Well, first of all, that's like a little racy to call it that to begin with. But at the second time, I think it's like, there's general psychosis and other shit that happens that like, we've heard about murdering cannibals and stuff like that. And nobody was, and as you said, it's like a severe culture bound syndrome. So it's specific to Native Americans who are scared of this happening to them. Yeah, I think that's just a little racist.
It's a little racist. My biggest problem with it, right, is that sure. Now, the quote unquote American Psychological Association says that it's a delusion, but I just call them fucking haters, right? Because this is literally, and so this is the only thing that I have in common with the fine folks over at Scientology, right? I think that psychologists have fucking botched this, right? They're turning supernatural creatures that we should be fearful of into just another diagnosis, sweeping it under the rug, refusing to look into it.
Mm-hmm. Well, yeah. Well, and it feels very throw over the shoulder-ish. So it's like you got a Native American guy who's like, hey, like I'm super depressed and I have this weird compulsion for violence and I'm scared and I don't know what to do. Like, oh, well, you got Wendigo psychosis. Get the fuck out. Or on the flip side, you have Wendigo psychosis. Guess what? We're going to fucking pull you in and start experimenting on it. It just seems like more of an excuse to do with them as they please instead of actually giving them the treatment they deserve.
And that just sounds a lot like our healthcare system. So fuck it.
Yep. I mean, yeah, unfortunately, that's not necessarily exclusive to Native Americans. I think our healthcare system is just kind of hell-bent on just fucking anybody and anything with a pulse and a wallet.
Amen to that, dude. And that's why I'm moving to Mexico. So this is my last episode, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. Tasker will be finding a replacement for me soon. I will be down in Mexico. So feel free to visit me. I heard that pesos is a thing there. So
yes, that's their currency.
Yes, their current what?
Currency. Their money.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Did you hear that? Supposedly, I don't know how true this article was, but because it was, Facebook, but they said that Drake Bell from Drake and Josh fame apparently changed his name and moved to Mexico.
I would too if I was in Drake and Josh. So
yeah. Well, yeah, apparently a lot of people don't like Drake that much anymore. Like, I guess he was like abusive or something like that. And he didn't get invited to Josh's wedding. And what else? There's something. Oh yeah, everyone got mad because he did like live shows for like, because he wanted to be a musician more than anything. So he started playing the Drake and Josh theme song and then stopped right at the beginning. He was like, no, I'm not going to play that. Like I'm above that. And everyone just started booing him.
What a tool.
Yeah. It's better to just embrace the brand like Josh did.
Yep. But everybody, that is it for our episode on the Wendigo. We hope you enjoyed it. It was a lot of fun making. It was a lot of fun looking into the lore. And we hope that you have a happy Thanksgiving now.
Yep. And if some of you are doing it over Zoom, hopefully it's brief because I know Zoom can be very exhausting. I know I hate it. And hopefully, stock up on some good food. If you did not buy any of your stuff for Thanksgiving, by the time you're listening to it, this episode, it's the day before Thanksgiving. What the hell were you thinking? Of course, it's going to be crazy. You like if you're complaining about it, like, well, you should have bought it like a week ago.
Whose fault is that? It's not our fault. All right. And speaking of Zoom, everybody, be careful. Make sure if you have a VPN, use it while on Zoom, because Count Chocula and his team are listening in on our listeners' Zoom and phone calls. Okay.
Yeah, we just confirmed this the other day, and yeah, those VPNs really they're worth the money, dude. Like, because we're not really entirely sure what they're gathering, but there's something about, because I mean, there's going to be a lot of Zoom calls over Thanksgiving, so maybe he's just trying to find like the weakness of the heart of America, maybe.
Yeah, my speculation is that he's looking in on our listeners' cameras in order to do some like funky 4chan detective work to find out where people live. That's what I'm worried about. So please use VPNs. All right. If you're going to be on Zoom for Thanksgiving, don't let Count Chocula and his goons fucking take you by the balls, or your root chakra. Don't let them do it.
Yep.
Because it's going to end up coming back to us. So
exactly. And then everything's going to fall apart. We can't have that. Like we said before, you don't have to like us, but we're trying to take down this menace. And if we go down, I mean, we can only hope that somebody might take up the mantle. But is that a risk you are willing to take?
I don't think so. So honestly, we're your last line of defense against Count Chocula and his team. Please, guys, be safe. Use a VPN. This isn't sponsored by like NordVPN or anything. I'm just saying use a fucking VPN, okay?
I would love it if we got sponsored by NordVPN someday. That's just so appropriate.
But thank you, guys. Thank you for listening.
Yeah, much appreciated as per usual. If you are watching on iTunes and you are not offended, hopefully, if you could give us a 5-star rate and review, that would be fantastic. That would really help us to keep on like staying on top of things, and maybe one day we'll show up on the front page now that we have a better logo. So we'll see. Yes, if you are listening on Spotify, hit us with the follow so you can be updated on new episodes. They do come out every Wednesday. The way things are uploaded is just kind of varies. So sometimes it uploads super late in the morning or something like that. I don't know. But Wednesdays, the episodes will be available. Instagram is at CEOTPK, YouTube, Close Encounters of the Podcast Kind, Twitter at CEOTPK1. You can check us out on Facebook, Close Encounters of the Podcast Kind. Discord is discord.gg/lowercase b, number 6, capital C, capital T, number 5, capital M, capital X. Email us at ceotpk1@gmail.com. Our Facebook, though, has all of these links all in a nice, neat little package. We fixed up our pinned post, so that should be the first thing you see on that page.
Yes, make it easier, because that's what technology is all about, ladies and gentlemen.
Yep, no need to reinvent the wheel. And if you feel like it's cheating, well, guess what? Everybody else is doing it. Why are you giving yourself a disadvantage over pride?
Yeah, it's technically just a shortcut. All right, don't be prideful. Don't type in the whole Discord. Just go click on the link.
Yeah, much easier. Yeah, you can try to be the cool guy and do it the hard way, but there are easier ways of doing it.
Amen. And look, everybody, whether you're alone for Thanksgiving or if you're with family, just remember, we at Close Encounters love you guys. We hope you have a great Thanksgiving. But most importantly, the truth is out there.
We do love you guys. It's always a pleasure to have all you in our community, our Discord and everything. That does not mean you should be sifting through your mom's stuffing just to find traces of, microphone bugs or something. It's not.
The hunger is starting to kick in. We keep talking about eating people, and I'm just like,
Oh, that gray meat. Yum.
Mm.
Gross.